We are in a spiritual war, and your faith is being tested. Now, what I mean by that is I'm not spilling you any religious talk, okay? Whether you're religious or you're not, we are still in a spiritual war. Putting an emphasis on our spirit, because we are our spirit and not just our physical body, which is what the waking world wants us to forget, that we are just physical beings, but we also have a spirit. So certain things affect our spirit, certain things we can't see, certain things that influence us, things like that. So your faith is going to be tested. And in this moment of my life, I've realized that my faith has been being tested. And I will, give you a few examples of that. Up until this point, before this, I was very sorry. I also have coffee breath. Sorry about that. Up until this point, I was very keen and very set on I'm gonna be an actress. I'm gonna go into the industry. I, was doing this for a year, doing short films, doing commercials, doing whatever it is. And what's interesting about it is, growing up, that's what I thought too. And when 2020 came around, I found out all this stuff about the industry and just the history behind it, and was like, I don't want to go into the industry. But for some reason, I fell back into the loop, and I don't understand how or why, because we are in a spiritual warfare. So I fell back into the matrix, and just there have been things that I've been realizing as far as what's been going on in the industry is just very evil. Very evil, whether people want to see it or not. And not even just that, but the fact that a lot of the people within the industry, they do nothing for humanity. And it had me kind of step back and reevaluate the path that I wanted to take. And, when you grow up and when you hear, all throughout your young adult life, you're going to make it, you're going to be big, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, you're going to be a star. It's almost as if you now are not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for the likings of other people, because they say you're going to be something. So now you have to be something. And I just was like, I want to take the path less traveled. Okay, everybody wants to be in the industry. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Everybody wants to be famous, whether they want to be a football player or a basketball player, whatever the case may be. But what are they doing to help humanity? They do nothing, because at the end of the day, I can't be a puppet. I cannot be controlled. I have to say what I want, when I want, how I want it. And until people realize that those people that you idolize, which you shouldn't idolize them anyway, because you don't know them, you don't know what they do, that they don't care, or maybe they care, but it's too late. They have to stay in what they're in, and they can't say certain things. It's just like, I had to come to a conclusion that that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. And I feel like God has been sending me warnings, like, this is not the path that you're supposed to take, because I firmly believe that God doesn't make actors and actresses and basketball players and football players. God makes warriors. God brings soldiers. God brings people with spiritual gifts, enlightenment, and light to help humanity, not to further detriment humanity by continuously still putting it under this unforeseen control that a lot of people don't see, that it is under control. And so there was just like a few experiences I had within acting that I was like, okay, just as far as even going down to minuscule things, like if we're talking about like short film competitions, which I was in, and how they still try to mimic the bigger industries. Like, they try to mimic the Oscars, they try to mimic these big award shows where people are getting duped out of awards, or it's political. And it was just like, what the freak is going on? You would think that they would want to be different, but they want to be just like or even the same as those industries that are controversial and that have been known for being rigged. Besides that point, even just feeling like you can't be human, like you're a robot on autopilot all the time, especially when it comes to auditioning. Like, you feel like you can't be human. I remember I had an audition recently, and I studied 3 days for this audition. 3 days, because there's 3 different scenes. Studied for 3 days. I get onto the audition because it was on Zoom, and I remember the casting director being like, he was just kind of quiet, like looking at me, and he was like, I'm just trying to figure it out because you're too glam. And I was like, what? You're too glam. Like, you're supposed to be a college student. You're too glam. And I'm just like, I'm just human. I just like to look nice. I didn't say that to him, but in my head, I'm like, I just like to look nice. And also, when I was in college, I was glam. I'm sorry. Maybe not all the time, but I was glam. I didn't know that there were set standards. So there's standards in this industry, and it's irritating. And so then, I messed up during my audition. I'm human. I messed up. I wanted to start over. And he was like, Simone, you are not supposed to stop the audition in the middle of the audition. That is unacceptable. You cannot do that. So I was just like, oh my gosh, what the freak? I feel like I'm supposed to be a robot. Okay. Yes, you said don't stop the audition in the middle of the audition. Okay, got it. Like, what? And then towards the end, he was like, yeah, so next time, can I just give you a piece of advice? I don't know if you're in a recording studio or something, but the speaker and what is that, an S or a G? Yeah, you just want to make sure that the background is clear so that the casting directors have something to focus on, so they can focus on your lines. And I literally was just like, exactly. Someone call the police on this man. That's what I was thinking. What do you mean? Like, it's an industry rooted in slowly putting you in a form of control, making you feel like these things matter. This doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Being too glam doesn't matter. Stopping the audition because I've messed up should not matter. Okay? So it was just that. And then also to not going along with the spiritual warfare, as well as I am someone who wants meaningful roles. And currently in this industry, maybe back then, I don't know, but nothing is meaningful in this industry anymore. The roles you get are not meaningful, and everything is typecast. Oh, you're a woman of color, stripper. Oh, you're a woman of color, stealer, drug dealer. Oh, you're a woman of color, promiscuous. And I just got sick and tired of it, and I just feel like, for me, I cannot be anybody but myself. If I can bring an essence of myself into something, then I'll do it. But you want me to be a stripper who works with 2 other girls who's stealing Rolexes from, like, no. And it had me questioning myself, like, what the freak? So then after that, I just decided, I was like, this isn't for me. And I've also been getting clairaudient messages, and it was this one Drake song where he's like, wait, no, how does it go? I wish I wasn't famous. I wish I was still in school. And I was like, why do I keep getting the song stuck in my head? And I was just like, okay, I need to take a step back, because not only am I getting warnings in, the spiritual and the physical, but it's not sitting right. Oops. It's not sitting right with my soul and with my spirit. And so I was just like, I'm taking the risk. I have to do it myself. You can't come into an industry expecting to change it. You have to be the change that the industry fears to see, okay? So once I did that, what's so interesting is literally the day after, I drop all my agents. I drop my acting accounts. I get a message from my old acting teacher, and I'm gonna read to you what he said. Hey, there was a breakdown on AA filming in Atlanta called, I'm not gonna say the name, submit for so-and-so. The pay is tiny, but the executive producer is da-da-da, and the casting director is da-da-da. The catch is that you would have to kiss a girl. So if you aren't okay with that, don't submit. Now tell me that is not insane. That literally the day after I do all this stuff, I get a message being like, hey, there's this role, you should submit for it, but you have to kiss a girl. Your faith will be tested. I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. Everyone sees this as physical, but there is a spirit in here, and that is something that they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know. So, we're in spiritual warfare. Stay vigilant. Stay up to date. I'm going to make more videos regarding this because I feel like I've been called to share my experience and share these messages because these feelings of loss or hopelessness or doubt or anxiety or fear, those are not you. These are things that have been put onto you. And and it's okay to do something different. It's okay to take the path less traveled. You actually get rewarded more when you do so, when you are actually aligning yourself with what you've been called here to do. And you may be like, well, how do I know what I'm called here to do? Because you're searching for a voice to tell you, but deep down inside, your spirit knows, because your spirit is your guiding compass. Your spirit is going to lead you first before your body does, before your brain does. So, yeah, have a great day.